it scary to leave your job and start your business?
Okay, so he said, was it scary? Was it scary to leave my job and start my business? All right, so here's how you have to do it. You have to do it in a stepping stone method. Don't just quit your job and start a business, because I did that too. That was a bad idea. Don't do that. What you need to do is you have a full-time job and a side hustle, and you work on your side hustle as your full-time job, and your full-time job is your side hustle. That's how it has to be up here mentally first. And then you build your side hustle up enough to where you're making maybe double what you're making, and see if you could sustain that for maybe 2 months, 3 months, and then maybe you could quit your job. But for me, I had a job doing code, I had a job teaching code, and I was doing YouTube at the same time. So I quit my full-time job and kept my teaching job, and then I quit my teaching job and just did YouTube. The one where you worked till 3 a.m. and got fired the next day. Yeah, but before that, it was chill, like, because we didn't know we were gonna get fired. All right, so we're gonna do some answering calls, and by calls I don't mean like actual phone call. I'm sorry, like it's not supposed to be bait, but like if I answer a phone call, people control. So just leave me a message, like a voice message, on Instagram, and I'll answer it. Respond. Why do companies try to micromanage their employees? Yeah, it's because they want to get the most out of you, right? They want to squeeze the most productivity out of you. They don't trust you, or they just want more productivity. Only bad managers micromanage. Yeah, I mean, if you need to micromanage, you're like bad manager that doesn't have anything else to do. You don't trust your employees, or you're not hiring very well. I like the content. I'm new to front-end web dev. Do I need to learn Flexbox? Yes, you need to learn Flexbox. Is Tech Lead your nemesis? No, I don't even do the same stuff as him at all. I'm all like, I'm more career oriented. He's more like, here's algorithms and stuff. That's not me. Never knew you live stream too. A rogue FBI agent, FBI open up. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. Do you know how important is DevOps? Dude, super important. Which is better, Unreal or Unity? Unity is probably better for single player. Unreal has blueprints though. Not thinking about an issue helps me to solve it. Yeah, it's like the concept of, sort of like the concept of like meditation, you know? As soon as you stop thinking about it, that's when you get the answer. It's like those witty people. It's like when you make jokes and roasting each other, and then like when you walk away from the argument and you come back, and then you have like, it's too late, you know? Oh, they're written. Okay, I'll read it to you guys. Hey Josh, I'm a sophomore, university studying computer science. I find myself to be he's depressed. Not from school, but loneliness and having no one to talk about my life is causing so much. I don't know what to do. I have to try to join clubs, reach out to people, but I don't feel connected anyway. Since being a commenter made it even harder to socialize with others. I feel like there's a difference between being alone and loneliness. Loneliness is kind of something you can solve by yourself. It's kind of a deep topic, but there's a big difference in being by yourself and loneliness. Like, I can be by myself and I'm completely fine. I'm totally self-sufficient. I can smile. I can be happy with what I'm doing. I would maybe recommend some books. Like, it's by Ryan Holiday. The Obstacle is the Way. Read that by Ryan Holiday. That's what I would suggest. Also, let me get this music back. One moment, please. Is it possible to get a remote job out of college? Yes. Why don't you apply and find out? I already had a remote job. What's wrong with Utah? Housing prices are pretty high. I'm in high school. I want to get a software job over the summer, earn some cash. Do I get a salary job and quit after 2 months, or do I try to negotiate a 2-month contract? Just ask for part-time, Alice. I would probably just apply and just say, hey, I have school, and just see what they say and try to negotiate from there. Are you still working in web dev on a daily basis? No, I don't work in web dev on a daily basis. I only worked in web dev as a tool to do the things in life that I wanted to do, which was, well, at the time it was just play video games, but it was just like a stepping stone, you know. It's a good tool. Maybe I'll make a video about why you should learn code and not only to get a job. There's so many other use cases for it. It will check your pride every single day when you learn code. You will, you know, it will make you feel like you're insane for like 2 hours, and then the next moment it will pat you on the back, confirming that you're not actually insane and you do know what you're doing with code. It's like, it's a good way to get comfortable with not knowing or not knowing everything. And for a lot of people that get straight A's through high school and college, you know, they get fact checked real hard when they start learning code, and they're like, wait, what? It's not like engineering, like mechanical engineering. It's not. It's very up and down, emotional. I don't know. There's more to learning code than just like making websites and working a job. It goes deep behind the scenes. What was your favorite software job or project? It was the one where I got to work remote. The project was for the government. Can't talk about it. Had to do with aliens. Shouldn't have said that. No, it's probably the one where I worked remote, just because it was the chillest job.
It is scary to leave your job and start your business.
Okay, so he said, was it scary? Was it scary to leave my job and start my business? All right, so here's how you have to do it. You have to do it in the stepping stone method. Don't just quit your job and start a business, because I did that too. That was a bad idea. Don't do that. What you need to do is you have a full-time job and a side hustle, and you work on your side hustle as your full-time job, and your full-time job is your side hustle. That's how it has to be up here mentally first. And then you build your side hustle up enough to where you're making maybe double what you're making, and see if you could sustain that for maybe 2 months, 3 months, and then maybe you could quit your job. But for me, I had a job doing code, I had a job teaching code, and I was doing YouTube at the same time. So I quit my full-time job and kept my teaching job, and then I quit my teaching job and just did YouTube. The one where you worked till 3 a.m. and got fired the next day? Yeah, but before that, it was chill, like, because we didn't know we were going to get fired. I did Makers for free, even though it's 8K. Dude, that's dope. How'd you get that? Can you elaborate on this emotional side of coding? Yeah, dude, a lot of people quit. It makes a lot of people want to quit. And then a minute later, they're like, just kidding, I solved it. I've been working on this for 8 hours. Misses a semicolon. It teaches you patience. It teaches you how to be okay with feeling dumb, basically. A lot of people don't like that feeling. A lot of people don't like that feeling. And then what happens in 10 years is people think that, you know, just go read Stack Overflow comments, and the total reverse happens, and they think that. But when you're learning it, code just, maybe not fact check, it gut checks you. At least for me, because I don't feel like I'm super smart. I wanted to quit just like you guys. Are you putting all your eggs on YouTube? No. I just phoned and finessed it. Well, congrats. Talk about the finesse. Let me know if these answers are helpful. Hi Josh, found the channel recently, Alexander. Changed my attitude to enterprises and overall perspective towards IT stuff. Cheers from Ukraine. Dude, I think you probably know Russian, so spasibo. Thank you for that. Is knowing a programming language, data structures, algorithms enough to solve LeetCode tasks? I mean, that's what LeetCode tasks are. Any experience with Sockets.io? I did like a little personal project with them once, long ago. It's probably all changed now, though. Hannah D, being stuck for 3 days and realizing you put a comma instead of a period. That's how it goes. You totally question all of your ability because of the one little syntax error. But, you know, luckily there's tools for that. There's like linters that can help you. I have a question. Multiple, I'm having trouble with the negotiating part. How should I deal with people who haggle my services to a lower price to lock in my clients? How to build an email list. Okay, yeah, so the courses, they're basically, the written section is done. I can release it for a lower price, I guess, but I feel like I want to do the video part and then just release it. Okay, so for your first question, how do you deal with clients who haggle you down to a lower price? Just don't haggle. Like, people do that to me, man. People do that to me if they want to, like, for like the consulting session where we just sit and we talk for a while. People try to haggle me down, and I'm just like, would my value mean anything as soon as you give me a counter offer and I take it? Like, I think that you'd probably like lose a little faith in what I can make for you, you know, unless it's truly not in their budget and they're going to like go homeless, or they're going to lose significant, or the risk is too high for them. Don't let them haggle you down. Just say no. If I'm charging like $200 an hour and someone's like, hey, will you take 75? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, does that really, unless you really want to, but otherwise don't do it. You know, put your foot down. You'd be surprised. The clients who want to haggle you down to the lowest price usually want to get the most out of you too. Like, they'll change their answers 10 times before they're satisfied with what you've done. Immediately became one of my favorite YouTubers. Black Zero, thank you. The price is the price. Yeah, exactly. just don't negotiate. I mean, okay, you should negotiate, but like, you know, it's like if you want to negotiate, you always have to start higher than you want and negotiate down to where you want. That's just how it goes. It's like a pawn shop. Why don't you do daily Instagram stories like Gary Vee? Gary Vee doesn't do daily Instagram stories. His team of like 500 people do his stories. Gary Vee just shows up, picks up the microphone and says, "Don't you want to be happy?" I like Gary Vee, by the way, but it's a lot of work. And it gets really annoying. Like, it's really like, you know, you're always thinking, oh, let me pull out my phone and take an Instagram story of this real quick. And like, you can't just be in the moment. Yep, stand firm or fall victim to scope creep. Scope creep is what gets you. Scope creep is what gets everybody. You start having all these like, wouldn't this be cool moments. How to find a good remote position. Yeah, so we work remotely is good. RemoteOK.io is good. Stack Overflow is good. How will your consultation best help me in my career? Not looking for a dependent answer. Was wondering how you could advertise to sell me the consultation. Just more to consider. It depends on what you want. I've done the career route. I've gone to college. I've freelanced, built a business, built a brand, know how to market, know how to do all the things. It just depends on what you want, and I can tell you how I did it. You can pick my brain. I'm not trying to sell anybody, but working on becoming remote. Dude, that's the only way to do it. There's no reason to go to an office except for those people that are like, the human interaction factor is just something that you can't replace with a Google Hangout. And I'm like, my league team is better than you guys, and I hate my league team. Would you like to get chipped? We come home to your dog. I'm chipped too. CS degree. Blackjack. Thank you for the 5. Struggling with advanced math, can graduate quicker in IT. Grind or switch. Just, I mean, if graduating is important to you, the pro tip is you don't need the degree anyways, really. So just get IT and go. You can still learn code in IT. The fact is that you have a bachelor's in not computer science, but of science. How do I convince him to let me work remote? He thinks being on site is ideal for team building. Just say I work better alone, and I work better when I'm free to work when I want and how I want. I don't work, like, you can't say I don't work well in a team. You could just say it's distracting for me. I do good work, but it's distracting. All of this is distracting. And when he's like, I said this too, and he's like, we could just get you noise canceling headphones. And I was like, no. Noise canceling is noise canceling, but that's not the lady in HR going to take her 3-day-old reheated fish to the break room and heats that up and ruins the entire office for the next 6 hours. It smells like gross fish. It doesn't stop people from walking up and tapping you on the shoulder. It doesn't stop people like from throwing things across the office at a startup and shooting Nerf guns. Like, it doesn't stop any of that. It's just say you're distracted.